To do good qualitative interviews, there are some tips you want to follow. In this video, I'm sharing 5 tips for conducting interviews as part of your research. My name is Christine, and by subscribing to this channel, you'll get weekly videos about user experience, qualitative research, and social analysis. By conducting qualitative interviews, you are gaining access to people's personal experiences, their beliefs, and their opinions. Depending on what you're researching, this is a really valuable method because it can get you access to insights that you can't get through observation or even participant observation. For more on that, check out this video right here. Now, for qualitative interviews to be really valuable, it's important that you do it right. And for that, I have 5 tips for improving the quality of your interviews. Also, check out this video about how to ask good interview questions. Okay, first things first. You want to start off the interview with an introduction to prepare your interviewee for what is about to happen. This is important because it eliminates any confusion or misunderstandings, and it helps your interviewee feel more safe and comfortable doing the interview. The introduction should include what the interview is about, what you'll use the interview for, including who will have access to the interview, reassuring the interviewee that there's no wrong or right answers. Ask them if it's okay that the interview is being recorded, if you're recording it. Tell them that they can stop the interview whenever they feel like, because after all, our top priority will always be the interviewee's well-being. And finally, ask them if they have any questions or comments before you begin. I have made an interview introduction template to make it all a bit easier for you. Check out the description on how to get a hold of that. During the interview itself, one of the best advice I can give you is to take your time and let the interviewee speak. Make sure that you have set enough time off to do the interview so you don't have to rush the interviewee, and so that you can relax into your role as an active listener. Remember, you want to understand your interviewee, and that rarely happens if you are too focused on getting through your questions, or if you interrupt your interviewee because what they said made you think of another thing that you wanted to ask them. If new questions come up during the interview, that's great, but write them down and ask them at a time where the interviewee is not in the middle of answering another question. And I strongly recommend that you yourself are as calm as possible. I know it can be nerve-wracking to do interviews, but it is important because it will make your interviewee feel more at ease and feel like you're actually there to listen to them. So slow down, breathe, and listen. The next tip is fairly simple, and that is to only ask one question at a time. That makes it so much easier for your interviewee to know what to answer, and you avoid having to ask the same question twice because your interviewee only answered one of the questions you asked. For instance, instead of asking what do you work with and how did you get into that in one go, try just asking what do you work with. Then after they answer that, then you can ask, and how did you get into that? Sometimes the interviewee will even get into the second part of the question without you having to ask. And this also allows for a much more relaxed and informal conversation because it feels much more organic to only ask one question at a time. The next tip is to ask your interviewee follow-up questions. This is important because you want to be able to do a good analysis of your interviews, and that requires that you have a good amount of data to work with. It's like having this 1,000-piece puzzle that you're trying to assemble, but you don't have any of the puzzle pieces yet. However, with every statement your interviewee makes, you get a puzzle piece that you can use to assemble the puzzle. So you ask them a question and they answer, and that might give you a few puzzle pieces to work with. You could leave it at that, but you would get so many more puzzle pieces if you just ask them follow-up questions to their initial answers, and that will ultimately help you have more empirical data to base your analytical insights on. So the more puzzle pieces you have, the better you can see the whole picture. Earlier we talked about the importance of introducing the interview in the right way. Now it's equally as important to end the interview in the right way. The end of an interview can sometimes feel a bit uncomfortable because it often ends because you simply don't have any more questions to ask, and there can be this awkward silence because all you can think is, I can't come up with any more questions. What do I say now? First of all, if you need time to think if you have any further questions, just let your interviewee know by saying, thank you for sharing about X, Y, and Z. I just need a few seconds to think if I have any further questions for you. If you don't have any further questions, then simply ask them, is there anything you would like to add that maybe I haven't even thought about asking you? That also gives the interviewee permission to share about things that they might find important that you haven't thought about at all. At the very end of the interview, make sure to let them know how they can contact you if they have any questions or comments, and ask them if it's okay that you contact them if you have any further questions pop up. And lastly, thank them for their time and their willingness to share their experience. Now we have also come to the end of this video. If you liked it, make sure to click the like button. If you liked it, make sure to click the like button, and if you want more content like this, you can also click the subscribe button. Tips for